In today's video, how do we stay lean and still enjoy cheat days?
By myself.
What's going on, guys? It's Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. Shout out to my client Chrissy for the amazing Minnesota mug. So let's talk. Today's video is going to be about cheat days, 10,000 calorie challenges. I just did a 1,000 carb refeed day. How they impact us, how we can stay lean. Now the question came from my Instagram direct message, so if you're not following along, I'll put my Instagram here on the screen. You go to my Instagram, you go to the direct message, you send me a question like this one here that I'm gonna put on the screen. The question that I'm putting here on the screen basically asks, how do people like Stephanie Buttermore and the people that do 10,000 calorie challenges maintain a lean physique despite doing this? And is it healthy? And so I have a very specific opinion on this. So when we talk about somebody like Stephanie Buttermore, she's obviously very, very educated. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's done this multiple times. And I actually prefer her approach. If you've ever watched her videos, Stephanie basically does a fantasy cheat day every once in a while where she just goes out and has all the foods that she's craving, but she doesn't do it in a gluttonous manner. She does it until she feels full and then she moves on. Why do I prefer this? Well, because she's listening to her body and she's listening to her mind. And when you do something like the 10,000 calorie challenge, and I've had clients do this and they've all kind of reported the same thing to me, is that they almost made themselves sick eating foods that they typically enjoy. Now my concern there is that you're not doing it for any other purpose than to kind of, I don't know, entertain people on the internet, which I'm fine with if that's what your goal is, but that's not what Stephanie's goal is, and that's certainly not what my goal is. The reason I did 1,000 carbs in one day is because I wanted to see what would happen to my body, my physique, as someone who takes in, usually around 400 grams of carbs a day. It just sounded like a cool threshold. I did it. I liked it. I didn't love it. But actually today, I'm actually back down at a new low after the 1,000 carbs, which I did on Tuesday. So yeah, it took a couple days for my scale to come back down to a new low. I saw the fluctuations in my physique and it all worked out fine. Now, is it healthy? Is it healthy? Well, a lot of this comes down to your definition of what good health is. So sometimes we can get too caught up in thinking that things like sugar aren't healthy or eating calories in excess is not healthy, but we tend to only look at the physiological term of health. What about the psychological? What about the brain? Okay, restricting things for too long can often mean we're just setting ourselves up for failure. Whereas if we have a built-in break, a built-in day once a week, once a month, once a year, whatever it might be, that can allow us to really be consistent up until then. And I think that's why I enjoy what Stephanie is doing, because she's promoting, hey, once in a while, look what happens. I go out, I enjoy myself, but most of the time, I'm sticking to my diet. And that's the lesson here, is consistency, okay? What really usually happens when people restrict, is that they then go binge, and there's no more consistency. The thing with these planned cheat days, fantasy cheat days, in my case, the 1,000 gram carb refeed, I had a plan going in, I executed it. I had a plan coming out, I executed it. No harm, no foul. I got to see what would happen. Same thing with Stephanie. I've watched a few of hers and she tracks her weight and body composition before, and then she tracks her weight and body composition after, and within a few days, it's right back to where it was. I think we can get caught up in a little bit of minutia here. You're so worried about the day-to-day that you're not looking at the big picture, okay? This is what's best for her health, both physiologically and mentally, because it allows her to be consistent on the whole on a daily basis. And that's what I find with me. If I tell myself I'm going to restrict for weeks and weeks and months and months and months, and I don't build in that free meal, refeed day, or something to look forward to, well, that can almost become too daunting, okay? And that's when it builds up and we run into issues, okay? Putting ourselves on a plan that is not sustainable. That's the real issue here. I always said something when I was younger, and I never really applied it to fitness, but it makes sense here. Everything in moderation, including moderation, meaning you can't always just be moderate. Every now and then you gotta go extreme, okay? Now I'm not promoting binge eating or cheat days, but you know, like every now and then I need to go have 6 margaritas, 2 shots, a couple beers, and enjoy a day of drinking. What does that allow me to do? I don't ever drink. I drink a couple times a year, but I know when I've got that vacation coming up, yeah, I'm gonna get a little day buzz, I'm gonna enjoy my life, I'm gonna have some fun, gonna laugh a lot, but I don't do it that often. The same thing with these fantasy cheat days or with these refeed days is that I build them in and I use it to my benefit to allow me to be consistent, okay? I'm still hitting my numbers every day of the week. I'm still enjoying the process of dieting and training and being lean. It's a part of my life. So when it comes to, are these healthy? Don't just look at like, oh, is it healthy to eat donuts? Is it healthy to eat sugar and candy? That's up to you. I think orthorexia is something that we can debate. Is sugar healthy? I have no problem eating sugar. I don't feel there's any issue with sugar. I feel the issue is with lifestyle. If someone is sedentary and they're eating a bunch of sugar, is that ideal? Hell no. If someone is as active as me and they're eating a couple 100 grams of sugar a day, is there a problem? Hell no. As long as protein, fiber, all the rest of the things are in place. But that's how I feel, okay? How you feel is probably going to impact you. If you feel you're doing something wrong, it's probably going to negatively impact you. And that's where we go from here. There's no one right answer to this solution, okay? Stephanie came up with something called the Fantasy Cheat Day that works for her. Most of my clients either like to include 1 free meal or 2 free meals a week, meaning they just don't track it. They go out and they have some fun. They don't eat like a jerk. But when you're hitting numbers every single day and you're kicking butt, sometimes it's nice to just not track, go out and enjoy. And that's what I encourage people to do, what works best for them. I've also had some clients that just love to track. They love to hit their numbers every single day. That works best for their brain. Type A, okay? It just depends on what works best for you. You have to find the approach that allows you to be consistent. That's healthy for you. Don't look at what other people are doing and judge yourself based on that. Perhaps you can get some inspiration and some ideas, and that's exactly what happened with Stephanie, to the point where Lauren and I are going to do a fantasy cheat day once we are ready, okay? Probably here in the next couple weeks or next month or so, we're gonna do a fantasy cheat day, very much inspired by Stephanie because I love that approach. I do not like the 10,000 calorie approach, mostly because I can't eat that much. Now my girl Lauren Conlon, I promise you, she could probably kill 20,000 calories in a day and have no issue. And I'm man enough to admit that she can out-eat me. I just get very full very quickly, and even with, you know, I had about 5,500 calories the other day with my 1,000 carb refeed, if you haven't watched that video. I was full, I was stuffed. I mean, I guess I could have forced in some more food that day, but I was pretty full all day long. You know, I did get hungry for each meal, but I wouldn't really want to force food in just to hit a number that sounds cool for the YouTube, all right? Hopefully this answers your question. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, comments below, leave it. I would like to know from you. Can you please tell me in the comment below, what do you think is a better approach? A cheat day? A fantasy style cheat day? Or doing the 10,000 calorie challenge? Which do you guys think is a better approach to this? And if you could, there's a little subscribe button. I don't know what's going on over here. It's a little red thing. Hit that. Makes my day. I love you guys subscribing to my channel. It gets me excited and jacked up to do more content. I appreciate you. Comments below, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.